Hello and welcome to Betr.com's Australian Open preview. We're going to start with the men's draw, where this is all about Rafael Nadal and Roger Federer. We'll start with Rafael Nadal. Now, Nadal won 3 of 4 Grand Slam titles last year. The only one he didn't get was the Australian Open, which was won by Federer. Now, if Nadal can win, obviously he'll hold all 4 Grand Slam titles, which would be a pretty amazing achievement. And to be honest, it's hard to see anyone stopping him. But this is Federer's last bastion of defence, the last Grand Slam title he's won. It was his 16th last year, and when he won it, he was looking good. He also beat Nadal in the final of the World Tour Finals last year, so he does have some recent form against the world number 1. But over 5 sets, you'd have to fancy Nadal. Now we're going to look at the challenges to Federer and Nadal. If someone's going to upset the apple cart, it's likely to come from somewhere else within the top 5. And that's Andy Murray, who was runner-up to Federer last year, but was fairly comprehensively beaten in the final. Novak Djokovic, who did win here in 2008, reached the final of the US Open last year, but would probably be helped along the way if someone could knock out one of the top 2 seeds for him before he reaches the final. And of course then there's Robin Soderling, the only player to have beaten both Federer and Nadal at the French Open, but he hasn't done it on hard courts and hasn't got a Grand Slam title. It's really hard to go with Soderling. Maybe the best challenger is still Djokovic. He at least has a Grand Slam title to his name before. Now we turn our attention to the women's draw, where the biggest story is the absence of defending champion Serena Williams. Without Serena in the draw though, it opens up. But Kim Clijsters might be the best chance of winning. Clijsters won the US Open last year, and won it well in the final too. She's got the hard court form at the Grand Slams, but hasn't been able to convert it in Australia yet. This could be her year. Of course, there's always world number 1 Caroline Wozniacki too. Now Wozniacki doesn't have a Grand Slam title to her name, didn't reach a Grand Slam final last year, but played super consistently on the WTA Tour. Now, unlike the men's draw, this doesn't move to 5 sets for a Grand Slam. This is still best of 3. By rights, Wozniacki should be able to feature here, and it wouldn't be a great surprise if she did. Now we'll move on to a couple of outsiders. And for my money, it might be worth looking at Ana Ivanovic. Now, Ivanovic's form fell off massively in 2009 and much of 2010, but there was a resurgence towards the end where she won 2 titles, her first titles in 2 years. She's won a Grand Slam title before at the French Open, been world number 1. She was also a runner-up at the Australian Open in the past, so she'll have some confidence at this tournament, and if that big forehand's going and she keeps her confidence, she could go close. Another player not to discount is Justine Henin. Henin enters the tournament under a bit of an injury cloud. She injured her elbow at Wimbledon last year, says she's still got a bit of pain in it, so whether she can last the distance over 2 weeks is the big question. That said, she was runner-up last year, coming off virtually no preparation after coming out of retirement, and has played well at the Hopman Cup in Perth. She could be a chance. So there you have it, some of the favourites and some of the players you might want to look out for at the Australian Open 2011. We'll keep you updated as the tournament progresses.